This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Heatwave alert. NWS warns Midwest and Northeast U.S. The National Weather Service has issued heat warnings for several states in the U.S. as a dangerous heatwave is set to hit the Midwest and Northeast regions. Michigan, Ohio, and western Pennsylvania are already under heat warnings, with the hot temperatures expected to spread to New York, Washington, D.C., and Boston throughout the week. Phoenix, Arizona is also experiencing scorching temperatures, with a heat warning in place, and temperatures expected to reach 110 F, 43 C. The NWS has warned of dangerously hot conditions in the affected areas, with heat index values of 100 F, 38 C or higher likely. It is advised for residents to stay hydrated, avoid the sun, and seek air-conditioned spaces. The extreme heat is expected to be prolonged by a heat dome, which occurs when high pressure traps hot air over a region. These heat waves are becoming more frequent due to the climate crisis caused by burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Heat-related deaths in the U.S. have been increasing in recent years. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Biden and Obama rally Hollywood stars against Trump's 2024 bid. President Joe Biden delivered a series of stark warnings about what a second Donald Trump term could hold during a star-studded Los Angeles fundraiser Saturday evening, framing the 2024 presidential election as an inflection point in American history. The fundraiser, which featured former President Barack Obama, raised more than $30 million for Biden's re-election efforts. Biden argued that a second Trump term could lead to further conservative appointments to the Supreme Court, as well as stating that Trump has said again and again why he really wants the White House: to give himself absolute power, to not be held accountable for his criminal actions, and to destroy the democratic safeguards that stand in his way. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden also spoke at the event, highlighting her husband's commitment to the rule of law and the dangers of a second Trump term. Obama emphasized the importance of core values and basic honesty in shaping the country. The event also included appearances by George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Barbra Streisand, and Jason Bateman. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Postfire rages near Los Angeles, thousands evacuated. A wildfire in Los Angeles County has spread over thousands of acres, forcing the evacuation of at least 1,200 people. The Postfire started on Saturday near the Interstate 5 freeway in Gorman, about 62 miles northwest of Los Angeles. It has burned more than 3,600 acres and is moving southeast toward Pyramid Lake. The Hungry Valley Recreation Area and the Pyramid Lake Reservoir have been closed as a result of the fire threat, and authorities have also issued evacuation orders for areas west of Interstate 5 between Pyramid Lake and Gorman, including the Hungry Valley State Vehicular Recreation Area. Firefighters are constructing perimeter fire lines and using aircraft to stop the fire's progress. The cause of the fire is still unknown. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Tony Awards 2024. Broadway's Best Shine with The Outsiders and Stereophonic. The 77th Tony Awards ceremony took place on June 16, 2024, at the David H. Koch Theater in New York City. The event honored the best of Broadway productions during the 2023-2024 season, and Ariana DeBose hosted the ceremony for the third consecutive year. The ceremony featured performances from various productions, including Hell's Kitchen, The Who's Tommy, Water for Elephants, and Suffs. The winners were announced throughout the show, with The Outsiders taking home the award for Best Musical and Stereophonic earning the award for Best Play. This Broadway season also featured many screen actors who made their Broadway debuts. Jeremy Strong won the Tony for Best Leading Actor in a Play for an Enemy of the People. Daniel Radcliffe received his first Tony Award for his role in Merrily We Roll Along. Sarah Paulson won a Tony for Best Leading Actress in a Play for Appropriate. Cara Young made history as the first black actor to be nominated for a Tony 3 years in a row, winning for her performance in the revival of Purely Victorious. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Caitlyn Clark shines as Indiana Fever top Chicago Sky. Caitlyn Clark led the Indiana Fever to a 91-83 win over the Chicago Sky in their second matchup of the WNBA season. Clark scored 23 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and dished out 9 assists. She started strong, making her first 3 shots and scoring 7 points in the first quarter. Clark's performance was a significant improvement from her previous outing. Angel Reese, on the other hand, was limited by foul trouble, picking up 3 fouls in the third quarter. She was called for a flagrant foul after hitting Clark in the head on a drive to the basket. Reese was assessed a flagrant 1 after official review. She finished the game with 11 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. Despite Reese's early dominance, she was unable to maintain her momentum due to her foul trouble. The Sky's loss marked their 4th consecutive defeat, dropping them to a record of 4-9 in the Eastern Conference. The Fever, on the other hand, improved to 5-10. Overall, the game showcased the rivalry between Clark and Reese and provided an exciting matchup for WNBA fans. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Tragedy strikes Juneteenth celebration. A Round Rock investigation. 2 people were killed and at least 6 others, including 2 children, were injured in a shooting at a Juneteenth celebration in Round Rock, Texas. The incident occurred around 10:55 p.m. at Old Settlers Park, where a dispute between 2 groups erupted during a concert. The shooting took place in the vicinity of a vendor area, and the victims were innocent bystanders. The police do not have a suspect in custody and are actively seeking out the perpetrators. The investigation is ongoing, and anyone with information is asked to contact the Round Rock Police Department. Round Rock is located about 20 miles north of Austin. This is a developing story, and updates will be provided as new information becomes available. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Bryson DeChambeau wins U.S. Open, edging out Rory McIlroy in Thriller. The U.S. Open has concluded, with Bryson DeChambeau emerging victorious. DeChambeau, one of the dozen players from the Rebel Live Golf Series, frittered away a 3-shot overnight lead before rallying from 2 strokes down on the back 9. He held his nerve in a contest of extreme psychological intensity, ultimately beating Rory McIlroy by 1 shot. McIlroy's chances were hurt by a series of unforced errors in the final stretch, including missing 2 easy putts. This marks DeChambeau's 2nd U.S. Open title, prolonging McIlroy's decade-long wait for a 5th major title. DeChambeau's win extends a run of dominance by Americans at golf's 4 bedrock tournaments not seen in more than 4 decades. DeChambeau described his par save on the 72nd hole as the best shot of his life. The win makes DeChambeau only the 5th player since World War II to win the U.S. Open more than once, aged 30 or younger. He brings home the winner's share of roughly $4.3 million from the $21.5 million prize fund, a record for a major tournament. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Tourist tragedies. The dark side of Greece's islands. An American tourist has been found dead near the Greek island of Corfu, making it the latest in a series of cases involving tourists dying or going missing in the Greek islands. The man's body was discovered by another tourist in the sea near the old port of Mathraki, who then alerted the police. The American tourist had been reported missing on Thursday and was last seen alive on Tuesday at a cafe in the company of 2 female tourists who have since left the island. There are no further details available about the victim at this time. This incident marks the 3rd death in recent days on Greece's islands, with cases involving a British TV anchor and a Dutch tourist. Furthermore, there are still ongoing search efforts for 3 missing people, including another American, on various Greek islands. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Path to peace. Ukraine's territorial integrity and global diplomacy. Nearly 80 countries have called for the territorial integrity of Ukraine to be the basis for any peace agreement to end Russia's 2-year war, though some key developing nations at the Swiss conference did not join in. The conference was attended by about 100 delegations, mostly Western countries, and was billed as a first step toward peace. The joint communiqué, signed by 78 countries, emphasized the importance of the UN Charter and respect for territorial integrity and sovereignty in achieving a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine. The absence of Russia at the conference raised hopes that they might join in on a roadmap to peace in the future. However, it is unclear how diplomacy will move forward, as Putin wants Ukraine to cede more territory and abandon its hopes of joining NATO. The way forward for Ukraine is to receive aid, such as weapons and humanitarian assistance, that can improve its situation on the ground and give it a better negotiating position. The challenge at the conference was to talk tough on Russia while also leaving the door open for them to be part of a peace initiative. The European Union's Executive Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, asserted that Putin isn't serious about ending the war and is insisting on terms that would require Ukraine's capitulation and disarmament. The conference is expected to have little concrete impact on ending the war, as Russia was not invited. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Netanyahu criticizes Israeli military's tactical pause in conflict with Palestine. In a recent development, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has criticized the Israel military's tactical pause plan. According to the Financial Times, Netanyahu has denounced the plan, which aims to cease military operations temporarily to assess the situation and avoid civilian casualties in the ongoing conflict with Palestine, and also aims to allow for the delivery of aid supplies to the region. Netanyahu criticized the plan, calling it unacceptable. The Prime Minister is concerned that a temporary halt in military action may provide an opportunity for the Palestinians to regroup and launch further attacks on Israel. This disagreement between the Israeli military and Netanyahu comes amid increasing international pressure to de-escalate the conflict and find a peaceful resolution. As tensions continue to rise in the region, it remains to be seen how this conflict will be resolved and whether any compromises can be reached to bring an end to the violence. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024, Hajj 2023. Pilgrims brave extreme heat for final rites in Saudi Arabia. Masses of pilgrims in Saudi Arabia have begun the final rites of Hajj, the Islamic pilgrimage, in scorching summer heat. The stoning of the devil ritual, which takes place in the sacred area of Mina, marks the end of Hajj and the beginning of Eid al-Adha celebrations. Over 1.8 million pilgrims congregated at Mount Arafat to perform the 5-day rituals of Hajj before spending the night in a nearby site called Muzdalifah. On Sunday morning, the pilgrims walked to the stoning areas, with some pushing disabled pilgrims in wheelchairs. Despite the intense heat, many pilgrims expressed joy at being able to complete their pilgrimage. After the Hajj, men are expected to shave their heads, while women are to snip a lock of hair. All Muslims are required to make the Hajj once in their lives if they are physically and financially able to do so. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Scandal to editor, John Ford, Robert Winnett, and the transformation of the British press. The news of the World Phone hacking scandal, which began in 2005, has led to a significant overhaul of the British press. The scandal involved journalists at the newspaper hacking into the voicemails of celebrities, politicians, and even murder victims. The scandal was first exposed in 2005, but it wasn't until 2011 that the full extent of the hacking was revealed. The suspect arrested by London police in 2010 was John Ford, a once aspiring actor who has since admitted to an extensive career using deception and illegal means to obtain confidential information for Britannia U.S Sunday Times newspaper. Facing potential prosecution, Ford called a journalist he said he had collaborated with repeatedly a Euro and trusted to come to his rescue. That journalist, according to draft book chapters Ford later wrote recounting his ordeal, was Robert Winnett, a Sunday Times veteran who is set to become editor of the Washington Post later this year. This is the news for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024. Deadly flesh-eating bacteria outbreak surpasses records in Japan. A deadly disease caused by a rare flesh-eating bacteria is spreading rapidly in Japan, with cases in the first half of this year already surpassing last year's record. According to the National Institute of Infectious Diseases, there have been 977 reported instances of streptococcal toxic shock syndrome, STSS, by June 2, 2023, surpassing the previous record of 941 cases in the entirety of 2022. The mortality rate for STSS is as high as 30%. The disease is caused by group A streptococcus, gas, which typically results in fever and throat infections in children, but in rare instances can become invasive and lead to severe illnesses like toxic shock. Elderly individuals are particularly susceptible to this condition. The cause of the spike in cases remains unclear, but experts have suggested that weakened immune systems due to the COVID-19 pandemic may be a contributing factor.